I think my dad really enjoys it. He's been a mechanic his whole life and had to deal with customers. He didn't necessarily want to be a mechanic. He was like carpentry, I'm sure.
Something has always felt a little different about Mat Armstrong's builds. Fans kept asking the same question again and again about his dad's real role behind the scenes. Was he just helping, or was there something more going on that nobody fully understood? Now, Mat Armstrong's dad has finally spoken, and what he admitted is not what many people expected. It changes how everything looks, from the early projects to the biggest builds. The truth feels surprising and maybe even a little unsettling. So what exactly did Mat Armstrong's dad finally admit, and why does it seem so bad? Join us to find out. Tony finally speaks on the rumors. Tony and Mat's alleged gossip didn't make a big entrance. It quietly emerged in the peaceful town of Leicester, gradually gaining attention. Initially, only a handful of individuals discussed it. However, as time passed, the murmurs gained momentum. The gossip traveled among members of the local car scene, eventually becoming a topic of discussion for just about everyone. People started to show interest. They viewed the videos, kept up with the projects, and started to inquire. A lot of people pondered about the extent of Tony's involvement in Mat's projects. A few individuals were convinced that Tony had a significant hand in the background. On the other hand, some speculated that Mat's role on camera might be exaggerated. These speculations did not materialize out of thin air. They stemmed from the growing popularity of the channel and the increasing attention on their work. The addition of a father-son dynamic brought depth to the narrative. Many were curious about whether Mat benefited from this close relationship. It seemed plausible that having a seasoned mentor nearby could provide an edge. However, this notion also sparked skepticism in some individuals. They pondered whether Mat's achievements were a result of his own abilities or simply a product of his father's assistance. Over time, instead of fading, these inquiries grew more intense. People persisted in reiterating the same queries. The focus remained on identifying who was putting in the most effort. Was Tony taking on the challenging tasks while Mat basked in the spotlight? Or was it genuinely a collaborative endeavor? Initially, the scenario appeared straightforward and easily accessible from an external viewpoint. However, as additional information unfolded, the perspective began to shift significantly. Many people had a one-sided perception of the situation, but the reality was more complex. Tony had dedicated years to his job as a mechanic, gaining valuable experience and knowledge along the way. Before the widespread use of online tutorials, he honed his skills through hands-on practice. Such expertise is not acquired overnight. It requires dedication, perseverance, and hard work. On the other hand, Mat introduced something entirely unique. His expertise lay in not just fixing cars, but also in grasping the contemporary realm of creating content. Producing, refining, and distributing projects to a large audience demanded a distinct set of abilities. These were not effortless undertakings. They also necessitated regular practice, educational endeavors, and unwavering commitment. When they collaborated, an unexpected result occurred. Their unique abilities did not create conflict, but rather complemented each other. Tony brought his extensive experience to the table, while Mat contributed his contemporary skills. One of them grasped the inner workings of cars, while the other excelled in communicating that knowledge in a captivating and educational manner. Their partnership felt seamless due to this equilibrium. There was no sense of coercion or imbalance between them. It appeared to be a cohesive team effort, with each individual contributing a unique role. They complemented each other in a way that enhanced the overall outcome. However, even with a clearer understanding, the curiosity persisted. A fresh inquiry started to emerge. This time, the focus shifted from just talent to the financial aspect and assistance. Speculation arose regarding the advantage of utilizing Tony's garage, with questions arising about the availability of tools, space, and parts at no charge. This notion led to some skeptics questioning whether the journey had been made easier than it naturally should have been. Vehicle construction can be a costly endeavor. Those familiar with the car industry are well aware of this fact. Components come with a price tag, tools require investment, and time is a valuable resource. Therefore, the concept of owning a personal garage for family use raised doubts among some individuals. They pondered whether success in this field had been facilitated by undisclosed benefits. Once more, a different version of the question arose. Could the channel have achieved the same level of growth without that assistance? Tony subsequently recounted his perspective, leading to a fresh comprehension of the situation. Many people had a misconception about the truth. Matt did not have things handed to him easily. He put in the same amount of effort as anyone else would in his business. Despite being consumed by BMX riding for many years, he still had obligations to fulfill. To sustain himself, he took on various temporary positions. Work didn't just take place in the garage, it took place in various locations. Time was spent delivering food, working at a bar, assisting in automotive stores, and gaining knowledge in tuning shops. These encounters were challenging, yet crucial, as they contributed to the development of both expertise and self-control. Funding for the initiatives did not magically materialize. Costs had to be covered. Progress was not instantaneous, but required diligence at each stage. Knowledge was not gained in an instant, but rather through gradual processes of trial and error and learning from mistakes. The garage was a space where taking the easy way out was not acceptable. It was a space meant for gaining knowledge. The explanation had a significant impact on people's perception of the situation. It shed more light on the matter. The path that appeared simple at first now seemed like a challenging journey, requiring effort, perseverance, and personal development. So how was Tony involved in his son's growth and journey? Stay with us. How skill shaped the journey. Inquiries regarding the initial restoration initiatives gradually became a major point of interest for fans. Initially, their interest was mild as they observed videos and found joy in the progress. However, over time, that curiosity evolved into skepticism for certain viewers. It was difficult for many to accept that a young innovator could manage challenging repairs independently. The process of restoring cars is intricate and requires a significant investment of time, patience, and expertise. Consequently, doubts arose regarding the authenticity of the work. The projects appeared remarkable, and as each new endeavor unfolded, they grew increasingly intricate. The questions grew louder as a result of this. Was it possible for the work to be solely attributed to an individual who was still in the process of learning the skills? Or were there hidden actions taking place that were not visible to the viewers? As the conversations progressed, the focus on these uncertainties grew more intense. With each enhancement in the projects, skepticism also increased among individuals. A few individuals theorized that a seasoned professional must be handling the majority of the tasks. Some suspected that the learning curve appeared too effortless to be authentic. Tony chose to address the situation directly and calmly rather than letting his thoughts run wild. He described how the maintenance of those initial automobiles was carried out by Matt. The expertise didn't just happen overnight. They were acquired through being raised in a setting abundant with equipment, machinery, and continual troubleshooting. Since he was a child, Matt had been observing, listening, and gaining knowledge. This type of education isn't always gained in a traditional academic setting. It is obtained through hands-on practice, brief instances, and continuous immersion. Tony was always available to provide assistance and advice when obstacles arose in a project. However, his guidance did not involve taking control of the situation. He offered suggestions to prevent major errors, but ultimately, the responsibility for the project remained in Matt's hands. Learning frequently involves an exchange of knowledge between a seasoned mechanic and a novice. The elder imparts wisdom, while the younger puts it into practice. Errors may occur, but they are followed by corrections that further reinforce the lessons. Ultimately, the responsibility lies with the individual engaged in the task. This specific information assisted numerous individuals in grasping a key concept. The initiatives were initially flawed and were never intended to be flawless. Over time, noticeable enhancements became apparent. Progress was evident in each development. Every error offered a valuable lesson. Each achievement was the result of hard work. Authentic learning is always evident in some form, demonstrating progress and development as time passes. This is precisely what was uncovered in the videos. When more substantial assignments arose, they brought about fresh inquiries. An illustration that garnered significant interest was the Ferrari F430 initiative. This endeavor was expansive and enthralling, prompting a resurgence of fascination among onlookers. There were those who thought that Tony must have assumed complete authority over the project. This assumption seemed plausible due to the complexity of the task. However, the reality turned out to be much more straightforward than the gossip implied. The construction of these bigger projects involved collaboration from both parties. They collaborated closely, each contributing their own unique skills to the project. Traditional methods were paired with innovative approaches. Expertise was combined with originality. The workload was divided evenly instead of being shouldered by one individual. The collaboration produced outcomes that were more robust and cohesive. It demonstrated how the combination of two distinct skills could lead to an outcome superior to what each could produce individually. Reflecting on the past, an obvious trend became evident. As the channel expanded, fresh inquiries emerged. With each resolved uncertainty, a new one emerged to take its spot. This sequence persisted repeatedly. When people observe a family cooperating in public, it tends to pique their interest, sparking a desire to delve into the minutiae. They question the authenticity of the success, the fairness of the assistance, and the equitable distribution of labor. Not all inquiries stem from a negative place. Sometimes they are driven by pure curiosity. It is human nature to seek understanding and meaning in the things that catch our attention. The story took on a subtle yet significant shift as the complete explanation unfolded. What was initially perceived as a potential benefit now revealed itself to have a deeper meaning. Over the span of multiple years, a tale emerged that highlighted the importance of education, perseverance, and faith. This narrative illustrated the possibility of combining expertise and hard work harmoniously, rather than having one overshadow the other. Tony and Matt were not facing each other directly. They were not in a competition or keeping secrets from one another. In fact, they were standing side by side, each offering something unique that the other lacked. Their work truly began to excel thanks to finding a perfect equilibrium. This success was not achieved through cutting corners or receiving covert assistance, but rather through fostering development, mutual enthusiasm, and a connection that elevated the quality of every project. More than a helping hand. Many viewers of Matt's construction videos often see a recurring figure, Tony Armstrong. His distinct presence in the workshop captures attention, not just for being there, but for actively engaging in the projects with insightful contributions. Whether pointing out small details, proposing practical ideas, or offering observations that alter the course of the work, Tony is always prepared with something valuable to add. Viewers are naturally intrigued by this situation. They start questioning what goes on beyond the car being solely recorded by the cameras. They ponder about the true extent of Tony's involvement. Is he merely assisting occasionally, or does his presence hold a more significant meaning? As the videos progress, it becomes evident that Tony offers more than just his expertise. He infuses a sense of personal connection that transforms the overall atmosphere of the workshop. His involvement brings a human element and authenticity to the experience. Instead of observing a straightforward repair tutorial, spectators are transported to a collaborative environment where individuals are engaged in teamwork, acquiring new knowledge, and tackling challenges together. Tony is active in assisting during numerous construction projects, offering subtle yet significant contributions. He provides insights on issues, recommends the next steps to take, and occasionally clarifies the reasons for errors. While these actions may appear insignificant, they hold immense importance as they steer the project forward without dominating it. Tony's assistance serves as a helpful supplement to the team's efforts. As a result, the workshop doesn't come across as a sterile or formal workspace. It exudes a sense of warmth and vibrancy, resembling an actual garage where individuals have the freedom to experiment and grow from their errors. This atmosphere enhances the viewing experience of the videos and makes them more relatable. Numerous automotive channels highlight flawless craftsmanship and pristine outcomes. The presentation is seamless, with each move carefully thought out. However, our emphasis is on the journey itself rather than just the end product. The focus is on the process, where genuine conversations take place. Reactions are authentic, with occasional minor disputes adding a layer of complexity without disrupting the overall flow. Early on, Mat decided to involve his family in his projects, a decision that had a significant impact on the channel. Tony's presence alters the atmosphere, making it more intimate and authentic, like a genuine interaction between individuals rather than a scripted performance. This raises a significant question. Could the channel maintain its essence without the presence of that familial bond? It is difficult to envision it doing so. The bond between the father and son generates unpredictable and irreplaceable moments. At times, repairs may not go according to plan. Occasionally, a tool may be incompatible. There are instances where a change in the plan becomes necessary midway through the task. While these situations might be disappointing, having another individual around can transform them into shared experiences. Tony's extensive experience is crucial in these situations. With years spent in garages, troubleshooting, and learning firsthand, he has gained the ability to easily assess and diagnose issues. Whenever Mat encounters unfamiliar or complex situations, Tony is there to provide a composed and straightforward explanation. He refrains from seizing command. He does not hastily jump in to complete tasks on his own. Instead, he steers the progress forward steadily. This equilibrium is crucial. It enables Mat to progress in his learning while also receiving assistance when required. Observers quickly recognize the harmony between them. One individual contributes a wealth of experience and a composed demeanor. The other brings vitality, inquisitiveness, and a fervent willingness to explore unfamiliar territories. When these contrasting traits unite, the outcome seems effortless, devoid of any artificiality or premeditation. One major factor that keeps viewers engaged is the teamwork displayed by the individuals. While the cars may grab attention and the detailed builds and impressive restorations may be fascinating, it is the genuine bond between the team members that truly captures the audience's interest. Often, obstacles arise leading to setbacks. Pieces may not align properly, strategies may falter, and signs of frustration may appear on Mat's countenance. During these instances, Tony can usually be found in close proximity, assessing the situation with a keen eye. He contemplates silently before proposing a straightforward solution that gradually steers things in the right direction again. These brief interactions embody a genuine authenticity that is challenging to intentionally fabricate. They are genuine, revealing the thought process, reactions, and collaborative problem-solving of two individuals. Audiences are not merely witnessing the repair of machines, they are observing a dynamic relationship unfold. This raises a different, more straightforward question. Do you think the videos would be as captivating if everything functioned flawlessly at all times? Probably not. While perfection may appear aesthetically pleasing, it often lacks authenticity. It fails to convey the hard work or challenges faced. Adversities play a crucial role in this scenario. Errors are not overlooked. Even minor conflicts hold significance. These occurrences contribute to a sense of accomplishment with every success achieved. The feeling of accomplishment that follows a successful outcome is genuine. It signifies a progression that was achieved through perseverance rather than a stroke of luck. People keep returning because of that emotion. It's more than just the vehicles, it's the experience. Observing two individuals collaborate, educate each other, and develop together is what it's all about. And this brought him to the spotlight which he had been avoiding. So how did he overcome this hurdle? Let's find out. The presence behind the spotlight. Tony's approach to dealing with attention is intriguing. Despite the channel's expansion and increased audience, he remains unaffected. He does not seek the limelight or crave attention. Rather, he is present when necessary, contributes to tasks, expresses his opinions, and then retreats discreetly. This uncomplicated action has a significant impact. It ensures that the attention stays on the project while also subtly highlighting the significance of his role. He doesn't have to assert himself or dominate in order to be recognized. His mere presence conveys his importance in a tranquil and unwavering manner. Why is this significant to some individuals may be a question that arises. The explanation is quite simple to comprehend. When an individual is at ease without seeking the spotlight, the environment around them becomes more authentic. The absence of any performance pressure or the need to make an impression allows for a natural flow of events, which is then conveyed to the audience. Tony's presence on screen always feels natural. Whenever he makes an appearance, it doesn't come across as rehearsed or staged. The camera captures candid conversations rather than contrived scenes. Even without deliberate analysis, viewers can intuit this authenticity. It just feels genuine. The emotional aspect of their partnership gives additional significance to their quiet strength. A notable project exemplified this concept clearly. In the year 2025, Mat surprised Tony by rebuilding a flood-damaged Aston Martin DBX. Since the start, there was a unique aura surrounding that construction. It wasn't simply a routine maintenance job, there seemed to be a profound motivation driving it. The main objective was not just to repair the vehicle, but also to convey a personal message. Many individuals started questioning the choice of that specific car and the reason behind creating such a unique design as the project progressed. The explanation gradually became obvious as the project unfolded. The reconstruction was more than just restoring a broken vehicle. It was a way to express gratitude, reflecting on the past when assistance was given quietly and unconditionally. Before becoming popular, Tony had already provided support by offering tools, guidance, and motivation when it was needed the most. During that period, there was a lack of large quantities, scarce publicity, and minimal acknowledgement from the public. The focus was solely on hard work, gaining knowledge, and receiving assistance. This initial phase is often overlooked, yet it is frequently the pivotal aspect of a journey. Things were different now. The channel had expanded, and the viewership had increased. Success had been achieved gradually. The growth also presented a chance to give back in return. The unexpected reconstruction demonstrated a complete turnaround in circumstances. Something that was previously handed out without hesitation was now being repaid with significance. The endeavor evoked feelings, not just expertise. It narrated a tale without relying heavily on language. When the completed vehicle was eventually unveiled, the response conveyed more than any words could. It was a moment filled with subdued yet profound emotions. Spectators could sense the significance of the event. It went beyond just the automobile. It delved into the deeper bond that brought it to fruition. The video attracted over 6 million views, but the numerical value was not the most important aspect. The significance lay in why viewers were engaged. It wasn't just about seeing the outcome, but rather the authentic bond between the father and son that kept them watching. So what does this mean for their future? Stay with us. A new chapter begins. In the latter months of the year 2025, a change started to occur for Mat and his team at Armstrong. The nature of their projects began to evolve, becoming more complex, requiring more attention, and expanding in scope. This marked the beginning of a fresh chapter, with each subsequent endeavor presenting a greater level of difficulty. The moment that had the most impact was when a damaged Bugatti Chiron Pur Sport was unveiled. This vehicle was no ordinary car. It was a unique model, with a limited production of approximately 60 units. The mere mention of this figure caused individuals to pause and ponder. What compelled someone to acquire such a rare and intricate vehicle? Why not opt for a safer and simpler alternative? The background of the car added an extra layer of intrigue to the situation. The car was initially owned by an American social media personality named Alex Gonzalez. Following a major accident, insurance companies deemed the car a complete loss. It was deemed unsalvageable and eventually ended up being sold at an auction. Many questions were raised just by that one thing. The machine, built with such precision, now sits in disrepair and neglect, awaiting someone brave enough to revive it. The majority of individuals would choose to steer clear, not even considering the possibility. The price, the challenge, and the lack of assurance would all prove to be overwhelming. However, Mat opted for a different path. He journeyed to Miami and chose to personally examine the vehicle. This choice established the direction for all subsequent events. It was not merely a routine reconstruction. it marked the beginning of a more challenging venture. The Bugatti endeavor elevated the stakes to unseen heights. Typical car restoration projects already entail tension and urgency, but this one brought on additional complexities. A major obstacle faced was the procurement of spare parts. Given the limited production of this vehicle, obtaining replacements proved to be a significant challenge. Every section demanded careful attention, perseverance, and thorough comprehension. There was no room for hasty resolutions in this scenario. Precision was key in every step. All particulars were significant. A minor error could result in extensive wasted time and energy. Another project was introduced without much fanfare at the same time. Matt came across a wrecked Ferrari F430 around the middle of the year, which had once served as a rental sports car. Just that singular piece of information brought an increased sense of doubt. A rental car gets used by various individuals, each with their unique behaviors. Some are considerate of the car, while others may not be. The addition of an accident on top of all this only further complicated the situation. Once more, the same inquiry arose. What is the motivation behind tackling such a task? Finding the solution appeared uncomplicated. The difficulty lay in the challenge itself. The aim was not just to fix the harm, but to revive the vehicle in a manner that honored its initial structure and functionality. Finding the appropriate components, ensuring they aligned with the original specifications, and focusing on minute specifics were essential. Additionally, there was a proposal to incorporate a Capristo exhaust system, elevating the car's sound and performance. The project transformed into more than a simple repair, evolving into a delicate blending of honoring history and enhancing the modern elements. At the same time as all these intricate constructions were taking place, it became evident that Tony's responsibilities were becoming increasingly crucial. Tony had developed a unique skill from his years of working in garages. It went beyond just knowledge. He had cultivated an instinctual understanding. He had a knack for breaking down problems and resolving them methodically. Even in moments of unexpected outcomes, Tony was able to remain composed and collected. When working with advanced machinery, experience becomes incredibly important. Dealing with new technologies, challenging problems, and complex fixes goes beyond mere effort. It demands comprehension. Tony established a strong base. He facilitated the resolution of issues, led the way, and ensured that nothing was done hastily or missed. His involvement created equilibrium in the circumstances, particularly during times of intense stress. Matt consistently brought a high level of enthusiasm and resolve to all of his projects. He approached each obstacle with a desire to improve and move forward. Their collaboration flourished and became more steadfast with each completed project. This adventure evolved beyond mere car repairs, transforming into a narrative of personal development, camaraderie, and collaborative endeavor. Every new task introduced a fresh dimension to their journey, and each obstacle served to fortify their teamwork. Numerous individuals started to ponder about the future of the Armstrong team. The solution may not be straightforward, but it is evident that the journey ahead will be challenging. The initiatives will persist in expanding both in scale and complexity. Why it feels so real? Why does this collaboration shine bright? The response may seem straightforward, yet it holds profound significance. The foundation is laid upon reliability, faith, and numerous hours spent together in the studio. Such a bond does not come about overnight. It develops gradually, molded by countless years of collaborating, tackling challenges, and gaining wisdom from each error. Every shared experience brings something fresh. Each obstacle overcome strengthens the connection. With time, this connection solidifies into a dependable and enduring bond that is visible to others, even in silence. In the future, there is no indication that Tony intends to take a break. All signs point towards the opposite outcome. He stays involved, engaged, and prepared to participate, particularly as the tasks become more challenging. His contribution remains significant, and his being there continues to maintain equilibrium. This brings up another question. Will there be a slowdown in the future, or will each new endeavor continue to push the boundaries even further? Based on all the evidence presented, the trend appears to be heading towards greater complexity. Rather than taking a step back, both Matt and Tony are moving forward with conviction. The workshop is a key element in this narrative. Originally established as a humble learning space, it has evolved into a prominent hub for top-tier restorations. This transformation was not accidental, but the result of perseverance, expertise, and a willingness to embrace higher levels of risk as time progressed. In the current scenario, the complexity of projects related to rare and damaged cars has increased significantly. The tasks are now more intricate and require meticulous planning, intense concentration, and a readiness to tackle unexpected challenges. Despite the daunting nature of the tasks, they do not shy away from the pressure. Rather, they embrace it willingly. The core concept that drives everything forward is adaptation. Each new endeavor presents unique challenges and opportunities. Fresh obstacles arise, requiring new solutions to be devised. It is crucial to quickly grasp and navigate through unfamiliar systems. Flexibility and the ability to meet changing demands are essential, as nothing remains static. Instead of avoiding these obstacles, they choose to confront them head-on. They approach each situation with composure and determined action. It is this method that adds depth to their journey and makes it compelling to observe. The focus is not just on the vehicles. The focus is not just on the outcome. It revolves around the procedure itself. It involves observing the resolution of challenges, the acquisition of knowledge, and the gradual advancement. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.